All right. Testing, testing, testing.
Sir. People are already online.
Okay. Ah, gosh.
Mr. Ebenezer, is it every day that you now mute your mic? All right. I need to check something. Okay. Let me switch.
No, sir.
Yeah, good evening, I guess. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir. Yes, sir. But network is breaking little by little.
Which network? Your side or my side?
I don't know, sir. Actually, well, it's kind of clear, yes, sir.
It's kind of clear there, so it's breaking here.
Yeah, I'm hearing you now, sir.
All right, it's fine. That's good.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hope you guys have hope you guys have been able to connect to your WhatsApp or something to message your people.
No, sir. We are still unable, sir.
All right. Don't worry, they will get it settled. Just it's a server issue, so they will get it settled. It's not only
Sir, is it only Nigeria?
you said
Is it only Nigeria or worldwide?
no, it's not Nigeria. It's their server, so it's more like things that do with
Ah,
connection to the satellite.
Okay, sir.
So for now, the WhatsApp, I think WhatsApp, Instagram, I'm not sure, and few social media they are down at the moment. You said
On Facebook, too, sir.
and Facebook, or I don't know. So let's say on Facebook. So more like the way the internet runs is more of there is a database, there is a system. So where the whole information, the whole data is set up. So they draw that data from that place through the satellite to make it easy to your own network. That's why we have all these things, all these marks you see outside. So they send that
good evening,
signal to
sir.
that place. Good evening,
Good evening, sir.
good evening, Ma.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, Ma. How you doing?
Good evening, sir.
Uh, good evening.
Yes,
Hope you can hear me.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, what? Yes, I can hear you, sir.
All right. You were asking a question.
Sir,
Actually,
Yes, I'm with you, please. Hello, hello,
yes, sir.
hello. Grace Obademi. Ah, I think
You can hear you, sir.
okay. I was trying to see. She was asking a question, I guess. So did not get. Ah,
yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
yeah. Good evening. I can hear you clearly.
Sir, can we log in by 8? I want to do something important.
Of course, no problem. The class is 8 o'clock. You can go and log in by 8. It's not a problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
It's just 8. You can even stay there and mute yourself and then be saying what you want to do.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. No problem,
The
sir.
class is 8. You are good. This one is just, you are just talking generally.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So everything should get settled soon. Hopefully, by God's grace, everything should get settled soon. So then
Okay, sir.
you can.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Ṣé general network o? social media, social media.
Well, Denisa, where are you always going? I don't even have it's either you are walking, you are running, there's just something. Only God knows where you're always going. I don't know. Are you in search of next job or I don't know.
So,
Uh, just uh, um, okay. Master estimate. Message. No, motive deactivate my MTN, so I will not be able to send message. Let me send it to your mail.
my
Mail,
question is
mail,
that
mail, Gmail. I will send it. Uh, all right, so quick one. For everybody, were you able to get the data? So that
yes, sir.
one, all right,
I'm going to, I'm going to myself.
all right.
Yes, sir.
Others,
I got mine too. I
I
got
got
mine too.
beautiful. Um, I believe the remaining two persons
Yeah,
are still working on
Yes,
understanding
yes.
what we are asking them.
Yàtọ̀ sí péèjì jẹ̀jẹ̀. Wọ́n máa ṣe fún ayẹyẹ lórí. Ó ìwà ti lò ó.
Well, Ebenezer, I don't know if do you know how to use the mute mic? Like, do you know how to mute yourself?
Yes, sir.
Oh, beautiful. Please do so that it will be easy for every
Okay,
other
sir.
person, right?
Okay, sir.
All right, thank you. So I think we have about 3 more minutes. Uh, 3 more minutes to go.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Mr. Shemi here.
Yes, sir.
So good evening, everyone. So can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Just yes. All right. Everybody,
Yeah, we
right?
can hear you.
Oh, perfect, perfect, perfect.
You can hear you, sir.
Oh, awesome. Okay, let's just make it 8. It's let's say 1 minute to go. So let us give others that 1 minute. So and see if they can connect with us
Yes, sir.
for that 1 minute. Then we start. Um, so briefly, for those that were not in the introductory session, so we talk about some certain things which we would love for everybody to take note also. So that means by next week Tuesday will be our final day. The class will be today, tomorrow, then Saturday. So there is no class on Sunday. Then the next one will be on Monday. Then Tuesday will be our round up session. Right. So um, I would love us to take note of all those things. And that means every day we have different persons coming up. Right. So today will be one person, tomorrow another person, like that, like that. But then you'll be seeing this face every day. Right. Um, but for tomorrow, we have someone that will take up. So tomorrow the class start by 7:45, not 7:40 rather, not 8 o'clock like today. Today is because it's the first day. That's why we are starting 8 o'clock. So for tomorrow it will be 7:40, right? So that 7:40 to 8 o'clock we just discuss about what you'll be given after this class. Then like that, then we continue like that, right? So please and please let's take note. And then we said it's not about having a large number of persons here. We can have just few persons around. Uh, uh, we can just have few persons around for the program. We don't
Yeah.
need much people. Even if it turns out that it's just two persons that remain at the end, I'm fine with it, right? We are fine with it. I'm good with it. What is important that they are what is important is that they get what we are trying to pass across and they understand it and then they are able to use it. So if two persons can replicate it to other persons in the future, it's fine. We don't need to have many persons. We need to have persons that understand you, right? As we know, 80%, 20%. So more like 20% of the people will produce 80% result, right? So they are the top 20 that produce the major work. They produce what we can say as the productive work. So if we can have just few persons, that's why we limited the number to just 20 persons, right? We could not do more than that. Even though we have some persons who would have wished that, oh, they joined us, but then the limit is 20. The initial limit was 10, actually. For me, the initial limit was just 10. Just 10 persons. We talk, we do what is necessary. Sorry. And then we go, right? Just for that week. But one of the facilitators decided that, okay, if we sponsor 5 more persons, and that's the person coming out tomorrow anyway. The facilitator said he will sponsor 5 more persons, and then, yeah. And we just look at the, oh, 5 more persons, that's 15. Oh, that's cool. So 15, that's cool. Just decide, okay, let's increase it, right? Let's increase it. Let's not just leave it at that point of 15. Let's make it a little bit more, right? A little bit more than 15. So just added 5 more, and then it was about 20, right? And then 20 makes sense. So all right, it's good to have everyone here, and it's lovely to know that every single person here are excited as I am, I think. So welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. So then to the business of today, right? So today we'll be talking briefly about crisis and personal leadership, right? Now, why this topic out of every other thing? Why this topic out of majority of things that we could have discussed about, right? Now, the reason for this topic was that everybody, every single person you are seeing on earth, every single person that you are seeing working around, they have one situation or the other they are battling with, which you don't know, right? Whether the person is rich or wealthy, as we can put it, or whether the person is any form, the person has one thing that the person is fighting, one thing that the person is uh, um, constantly trying to adjust, constantly trying to hope that things get better, right? Okay. So I said today we are talking about, I hope everybody is able to hear me, crisis and personal leadership. So I said basically every single person that you meet, every single person that you come across with, every single person that you walk around with, they have one thing or the other they are struggling with in code, they are battling with, they are trying to work on, they are trying to adjust, right? Or they are trying to do one thing or the other. So for you to understand, I brought in this case of this man. You all know who Jack Ma is, I believe. Now, for those that do not know, Jack Ma was the CEO. Why I remember I used the word was the CEO of Alibaba. Now, it's an e-commerce platform in China and the likes, right? It's a big one. It's not just any other thing. Now, Jack Ma has millions of persons, millions of employees working for him, or thousands rather, working for him across the globe, right? And this is one thing that he has been doing over the years. This is one thing he has been constantly adjusting and working on. Jack Ma, every single day, you have person that wish that in their life they meet up with him, or they have just 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Some person's life goal is for them to be able to, in quote, life goal is for them to be able to meet someone like Jack Ma. Even if it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes, they are, that's what they have been trying as much as possible every single day. They wake up to ensure that they do. Now, this man is just normal human like everybody. He has his own crisis, right? How do I know that he has no crisis? There was an interview that they did of him, and then so they asked him that, okay, you know, you are this person that is wealthy, and you are this person that have influence and all those things when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to startup, when it comes to building businesses and the likes. So now we know that you are this kind of person. We want to ask you, so far in your life, do you have any regret? And you know the word when it comes that do you have any regret in your life? It is two-faced. Why? What do I mean by it is two-faced? Sometimes it is so easy to say that no, I don't have any regret, right? But there are some times whereby it's actually uh the other way around. So they asked him, then he told them that um yes, that he has a particular regret. And then they asked him, so what's the regret? He said his regret in his life is that up to that moment that he was talking, his wife and children, none of them recognized him as either father or as husband. Every single one of them just know him as CEO of Alibaba. Even his own wife and children know him as CEO of Alibaba because there is no time. He doesn't have that time. He doesn't have that whatsoever to be with the family. All he does is, yes, there is provisions. There is financial provision for the family. The family can go anywhere they want around the world, around the globe, anywhere. They can go Dubai, they can go any single places that they want to do, right? But that is not all. Every single person that wakes up, they have challenges with their country, a lot of things fighting or they are fighting with. Some persons have wealth, they have money, but they are disturbed. Some persons feel, okay, let's just put it that way. Some person feels that once their financial problem is solved, all their problem is solved, right? But the truth is, that's a lie. Because by the time you begin to have money, you just feel that money is not everything that you needed. By the time you begin to have income and then you begin to have cash, and sometimes you just feel like you are not fulfilled, and then you have money in your account. All right, let me just put myself as an example. There are times I have cash in my account. I look at my account, this one, look at this one, and I have the cash. But still here, you just feel that day that you are just feeling somehow. You have the money, you don't know what to eat. You have the money, you don't feel like going anywhere to go and eat. You can go anywhere and use the money, but then you just sit down at home and be thinking, and you are disturbed. Why? Because there are some other things about life that is not about finances. Every single thing is not about money. Every single thing is not about finances. Your problem will not get solved. All your problem will not get solved once you have money. Is just a lie, right? It's a lie. The thing is that the first solution to whatsoever thing that you are battling with is first your attitude towards that thing, right? Why did I say it's your attitude? There is along I think some weeks back I was passing across my street. So then there is this woman that she's selling stuff. She's very young. She's about let me say about 25 or 26. Yeah, about that age, right? And then so along that way, they are talking about this loan. I think I've forgotten. Maybe Get Me Go or something. I've forgotten the company. And then they are not talking about CUDA. That is, CUDA is giving their employees or people, user, let me put it that way, user, opportunity for them to get loan from others. So they get loan from CUDA, or I don't know if it was CUDA or something similar. So they get loan from them and then they pay back. So the immediate response of this person was that how can she get the money? And everybody, all of them around that place was asking her that, okay, if you get the money, how will you pay? But I said, Amy, sorry about that. He said, Amy, only so far, I'm going to go working. My credit account to me, but me, love credit account. Now, that statement got me because I was looking at it that there's no way she will be able to survive this poverty. Now, even if Kuda gives or decide to borrow 1 million, the truth is she will still go back to that state of being poor. In quote, why? It's not the money. Someone was saying that every single one of us, we are millionaires. Every person you've seen on earth, they are millionaires. It's just that not everybody will remain as millionaires. Why? If you look at the accumulation of all the money some person has spent, you know that it's already a million, right? But there are some person that will stay being that millionaire. Why? Because there was an attitude of getting that money, and that attitude was sustaining. All right, so that's by the way. Let's just go back. So, what do I mean by crisis? That's what I've been trying to explain. It is not something that is bad. It's not something that is bad. It's just when you are in school. When you are in school, everybody faces different crises while on campus, right? Thank God everybody is in 200 or 300 level. So we face different, various ones. Campus is just like a mini life scenario. So it comes to us in a way that people do not recognize it. But if you are able to recognize it, which is one of those things that we are trying to do, if you are able to recognize all those little things and then begin to be sensitive to the case of every single thing. For example, you get to a position on campus whereby, apart from some person whereby they are collecting maybe, let's say, 500K per month, maybe that's when they will not have financial issues. So let's put those one aside. You get to a situation whereby you won't have money, at least you won't have money for the day. It has happened to me while I was on campus. There might be 2 days I don't have any cash with me, or the only cash I have with me is 150 naira. And then because it's just that 150 naira, I know how I will keep it. I just keep it with me. At least, I don't know, I can be passing and then one egg woman just, all those kind of stories that we used to hear back then. That Mark Colomele, so just for that cases, I just owe the 15 naira with me, right? So you can go to that cases whereby you just have that 15 naira and keep it to myself. There's no other money, no other way around it. The only thing might be to look for food and eat, right? So all those things happen while on campus. But you must be able to notice that, or be able to come to a situation where you made up your mind that this thing will not go on forever. Right? Now, this thing will not go on forever. In that situation, first, recognition of the fact that, yes, there is this thing attached. There is this thing around. When I was in, I think part two, when I was in part two or part three, there about, then a situation happened around the family, and then there was no money from home. Nobody was sending cash. Nobody was sending cash to me while on campus. And I cannot, because of nobody was sending cash to me, and not make my academics to make sense, right? Or just decide that because of that, I'll sit down and rest. At the end, nobody cares, right? Now, so one thing that came to my mind is that, okay, this situation has happened. There's no money coming from home. What is the next step? What is my recognition at this point to make sure that this thing doesn't continue? Oh, thank God that it happened now. It's not when I'm done with school and then everything just open up to me, because many people begin their own crisis of employability or all those things after they are done with school. But one thing is, you can create that atmosphere by ensuring that you solve that problem in the future in your present. That's why every crisis that occur at this present or at your present stage, the accumulation of occurrences and decisions that was before. So it's not as though things just happen. Let's just put it the way for you to understand better. Now, let's look at family of Dangote, for example. One, you know that they cannot have financial crisis. Why is it that they cannot have financial crisis? Someone in the family has solved that problem for them before them. They can have mental crisis. Why? That one is normal for every human, unless they build that attitude against it, right? They can have physical crisis. What do I mean by physical crisis? Someone that we can really relate with a physical crisis is there's this man they call Pastor Nick. I don't know if everybody knows him. Pastor Nick. Pastor Nick is someone that he has no arm, he has no leg. He just have one tiny finger underneath that he uses as his leg, anyways. And this same person is physically disabled, as people will call it, and then but this man is living a very, very wonderful life, happy life with his family. He has kids. I mean, he has 4 children now. Pastor Nick has 4 children, and then he's married to someone, a human, a female that has this. The woman that he is married to have legs, have hand, have every single thing, right? So in that sense, why is he happy to an extent whereby all those things are disabled? First is the attitude. First, you first have to admit and agree that okay, this situation you are at presently, it has happened, or just there is one thing that I do. I call it proactive thinking. Everybody knows that you can try and check. Steve Covey wrote something about it in his 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, right? I'm a person that love reading books a lot. I love reading books, so that's there's no way you not see that just one thing. So this is the book I was talking about. This is another book. This is another one. I mean, these are the things by my side. I have a lot inside. So I am someone that loves to invest in books a lot, right? Even while on campus, I think there was a time on campus that even while on campus, there was a time on campus that I spent about, I think about 24,000 naira or thereabout to get books. I mean, just to get books, right? Right? It's funny, but then, yeah, that's how much I love books. And then it did not happen like this. Of course, it did not happen like this. There were times I did not like reading at all. My 100 level days, if it's not academic book, I'm not doing it. I'm not reading it, right? But gradually, responsibilities came in and all those things changed, right? So, what am I saying? He is someone, Pastor Nick, is someone that don't is disabled. Everybody call him disabled. Nobody wants to pray that he doesn't have hands, right? Even if everybody is complaining that you don't know the situation I'm passing through, you don't know this thing and you don't know that thing. If you they put you in another person's situation, do you think you can survive? So the first thing is understand that okay, whatsoever thing that has happened at this stage, right? Many of us complain that okay, our family, or many of us complain that our family doesn't have enough, they didn't provide the best for us while on campus, or they left us, or we are I'm the only one feeding for myself, or I'm the only one trying my education. Yes, recognize that one, right? That's the first recognition. Your first recognition is that you know that this is the problem. This is what is happening. You are the only one feeding for yourself. Great. In your family, they are not providing much for you. Awesome. That is it. Now, the next thing you have to do is that you look at your trim line between now and when you will graduate, right? Between now and when you will graduate, the years within that range, what will you do to change that situation? You get, what will you do? What are the certain steps you have to do to change that situation? See, all these questions, they are things that you have to consciously look into. Why? Because nothing works by magic. They work by your conscious effort, right? Your word, conscious effort. You can look at that word, conscious. It's not only effort that you are conscious of. Okay, you are doing this because of this, right? Because at the end, you begin to see that there are some things that you could have avoided. There are some things that if I had known what I know at this present, there are some things that I would do back there on campus that would be different, right? But then it's just part of the story, part of the history. So it has gone. That phase has gone, right? So, but then you are in that phase. So you go back and stay in that position and look at it that okay, this state that I am presently, what are those things that are challenging to me? All right, the first thing is financial issue. Write it down. The next one is emotional issue. In quote, write it down. The next one is whatsoever situation it is. First, recognition is powerful. Recognition, that's one thing that we do, especially when you come to okay, sorry, I am a designer, so I'm more of this solution oriented person, right? Now, in design, one of our first attribute is for you to recognize the problem. That's the first and the major one. Major thing. If you want to solve anything at first, you must first recognize that problem. Right? And your recognition of that problem will make you to look for the appropriate solution. So recognizing a problem has to be a conscious thing. You have to do it consciously. So you go back and look at it that, okay, in the next 2 years or in the next 3 years, I'll be graduating from this university. Right? What are those major things that I need to sort out? First, you look at it that you need to build your capacity, right? Maybe leadership capacity. Okay, what are those things that I need to do about leadership? Why am I saying this? Every crisis that people face after school would have been avoided if they have put attention to it while on campus. I'm telling you this because of experience that I have had, and there's some other friends of mine and a few other persons, right? There are some things that could have been avoided while you're on campus. All right, let's just put at it. Someone, okay, don't let me, in quote, just assume that is in quote. Someone that is looking into marrying, let's say, a CEO, in quote, or someone like that, right? There are some attributes you would have built while on campus. You cannot just graduate now and begin to imagine that someone will somewhere and life will just happen like that. It cannot happen that way, right? There are some attributes that you must have built over time that will give you leverage at that particular period. It just, I think this man call it, there is this man into leadership that call it law of process. So it's called law of process. To avoid issue at a particular period, you must have thought about that issue. It's just more like proactive thinking. That's the word. You know that at a particular period, this issue will happen. You know that at a particular period, something like this will happen. So what you are looking is you are imagining, okay, at this particular period, they will be challenging about finances. You just know, okay, let's imagine someone that will get married in the next 2 years. Is ignorance for you to think that, okay, if once it's 2 years, I will get married. That's ignorance, right? First thing you have to think, okay, what am I to do to get married? What are those things that is needed of me in my future, right? Now, you understand that these are the things. Then you go back to your present. Then look at the linkage between that future and your present and know how you can match that process together. How you can bring that process together. So that's why we call it law of process. You cannot become a coach in a day. You cannot become a coach in a day. Someone was telling me a story about this woman. There's this woman, and then the woman spent about I think 55 years or thereabout in the work space. So and then I think she was given about $5,000 per month or thereabout. Now, because of the situation at that place, $5,000 will not do much in quote, will not do much in quote. Though it will be enough for her to live. That $5,000 will be enough for her to live her life and then to be able to be good, right? Now, what is the next thing that she did? She knows that she cannot be spending this amount. She stays where she is still living. Most of everything in that place were old because it's 50 years time. So most of those things that she was using were old already. So everybody that were seeing her, they were seeing her like this poor person, this person that doesn't have this and the likes. But nobody knows that she was practicing law of process, right? After that 50 years, right, she bought a old estate for university. I mean, she bought a whole city. It's just like someone that can buy a whole Covenant University for someone. And nobody knew about her. They know nothing about how she's keeping that money. She kept the money for 55 good years. She invested in stock market. And before you know it, 55 years after, everybody was able to write about her. Does it mean that the money came just like that? No. She has been imagining it since what, 50 years ago. So the actualization of that imagination came to pass 50 years later. So if there are some certain things that you want to do about yourself, in the next few years, right? If there are certain things you want about yourself by the time you are in your part 5, you must ensure that you begin to sort it out by now. Like I said, I told you earlier that someone like Dangote, someone like Bill Gates' son, someone like who else? Adebayo Ogunlesi's son and their children, they cannot have financial issue. Why? It has been sorted out by someone for them already. They cannot have. Now imagine most of us in Nigeria, permit me to use that word, most of us, we are trying as much as possible to look for scholarship up and down. Why? It's because there is no money for the quality education. I mean, it's because there's no money for the quality education. So scholarship looks like the best thing that could happen to a man. It looks like the wonderful thing that could happen to you. But let me teach you, that's not it. See, there's a way that so we determine our intelligence by the number of scholarship we get, which is a lie, right? It's a lie because there are a lot of things attached to scholarship itself, right? So now imagine someone else that have that finances, you have that money, you could go for the education and get out of the country in quotes, and then do your education, have quality education, and come back and do well. Don't forget, I said what? Proactive thinking. Proactive thinking. This is where you want yourself to be in the next 5 years. This is where you are at this present stage. How can you get to that point? Go back in time and sort it out. Now, does it mean that every crisis can be avoided? The answer is no. Right? The beautiful answer is no. If everything can be avoided, it means that there won't be anything that will change us. What do I mean? There is what we call the internet bubble, right? And the internet bubble happened in 2002, 2001, 2002, thereabout. Now, what does it mean when they say internet bubble? Internet bubble means that the company that were the babas, the odonge in that time, lost about a higher percent. Okay, let's put it this way so that you understand it better. In their stock market, the stock market in that place rose to about 400% in 2001. By the time they got to 2002, the stock market reduces to about 78%, meaning they lost about 330 something or 320 something percent. And that way, it brought all the whole company at that time down. They went bankrupt. All the millionaires become thousandaires. Let's put it that way. Everybody that were having millions of naira in their account, they begin to have 100. Let's say someone like Dangote or someone like Dangote. Now let's say that's someone like Dangote that was having billions of dollars and the likes, now becomes someone that is having like 500 naira, 5,000 naira, 50,000 naira. That's what happened. Right? Now, what that thing, as bad as that thing is, as bad as internet bubble was, it changed the whole sphere of the whole thing for our generation. It changed the whole thing. There was no Facebook before the internet bubble. Right? There was no Uber before the internet bubble. There was no Twitter. There was no Kuda. There was no Piggyverse. There was no Flutterwave. Right? All these companies, none of them existed. But what happened is that transition of that internet bubble brought about the origin of Google. Even if you try to read about it, Google was not the main search engine as of 2001. There's what we call Ultra Vista. Ultra Vista was bought by Yahoo. And everybody, I think we all know Yahoo. Yahoo Mail, back then, Yahoo, and the likes, right? So all those things started from that idea of Yahoo, right? So that gave the transition of internet bubble. So now look at that crisis of internet bubble. That crisis redefined the whole internet space. It redefined the whole thing that we know now. If that crisis hadn't occurred at that time, there will not be any Google that we know at this period of time. And if there is no Google, there is no way there will be Uber. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Why? If you look at the whole concept of Uber is put upon the Google map. So that means there is no Google, there won't be a map. And if there is no map, there is no way all this whole thing that we have at this present thing could have happened. So what am I saying? There are some crises in our life that is meant to bring out some values in us. They are put there in a situation, they are put there in that place so that they'll bring out our full potential. Because if you don't have challenges, there's no way you maximize your potential. Right? That's just the truth. There's no way you maximize your potential if you don't have challenges. So the challenge you're having now, it's a pointer that there is a potential that you need to activate. The challenge you're having now is a pointer that there is a potential you need to activate. So don't put your mind in anything. Just look at it that this challenge that I'm having at this period, this crisis that we are having in our family at this period, it's a pointer that there is something I need to do to bring us to that full potential that we ought to be, to bring us to that place that we ought to be. Every family have their own challenges. Let's not be deceived. Let nobody deceive you. Every family, every person, every individual that you are looking here, everybody that is in this Zoom meeting have their own challenges, have one thing or the other that they are facing. It might not be as every other person know, right? Now imagine someone that have hands, that have legs, that have the whole thing, is planning to commit suicide. And someone that do not have hands, he do not have leg, is not trying to commit suicide. What's the difference? It's because there's another crisis that is fighting that man that is different. It might be a mental crisis. Yeah, it might be a mental crisis and people feel like they need to die. Like it might be an emotional crisis. Nobody will pray that they should their leg should be cut for them to be able to think well. Or you see someone that doesn't have the whole thing and is happy, and then you wish that you have been like them. None of us will wish that. Why? Because it doesn't make sense. Yeah, you like your hand and your leg. See, you like all those things. Right. So what am I saying? It's really important for you to recognize. The first aspect we talk about is what? Recognizing the problem, recognizing the situation, recognizing your present state. If you don't recognize the problem, there is no way you can put solution to it. You must know that nobody is responsible for making decision for your life. Nobody. Whatsoever you become in your future, it's your responsibility, right? People can tell you many things. People can do a lot of things. But whatsoever you become in your future is your responsibility. Because you never can tell. The person that is advising you can die in the next few minutes. No, it's not a cause, right? It's not a cause. We are not trying to cause. But life happens. Or the person can decide and tell you that the person made a mistake. I've seen situations whereby after some period, the person will tell the other person that he's sorry, that what he told him about the other time that is actually wrong, is not the correct one. But the person has made decision based on that. Right? We are not saying that you should neglect the place of your mentors or all those things, but it's still that it is your responsibility to ensure that you have the best of your life. Nobody is responsible for you. Yes, let's put it that way. It is not anybody responsible for them to provide anything for you. If anybody did not provide anything for you, you must take responsibility for your life. That's what we call personal leadership. Personal leadership is your ability for you to step out of your own present stage or present state and look ahead to your future and observe the constraints and conditions in your future, then come back to your present state and see how you can make your life better. Right. So the attribute of someone that is a good leader is being proactive. That's why I say proactive. It's really important. Now, you know that there are some things that you cannot do at this present stage. There is no way you are trying as much as possible. There are some things you cannot do. Now, look at it. At this present stage, I think, I'm not sure, but I think As of last time I tried to get gas, I think at that stage gas was around, I think 700, if I'm not wrong. I think 700 or thereabout per kg. I think so. I'm not sure. I think around that stage, 700 per kg. Now look at it. There's nothing I can do about that. Literally, at this moment, there's nothing I can do about the gas issue. I'm not into gas or whatsoever, right? There's little I can do about it, but I can respond to it. Why? I must get it. It's essential. It's needed. It's something that I need. It's something that is important for me. I must use it. There's nothing I can do about it. But it's a challenge to me. Why? Because I must use it. And for me to use it, I must be able to provide something. Cash. They need to give me gas, right? Fill my cylinder. I need to give them something in exchange. And for me to get that something in exchange, I need to involve in another thing. So it's not another person's responsibility to provide that money for me to fill my gas that I will need for myself. It's my responsibility. So personal leadership has taught us that take responsibility for your life. Another thing, be proactive about your life. Don't just stay at this situation and then assume that everything will happen or everything will work out. Be proactive. Stay. Look at your future. What is it that there are certain things that you need to do about your future? Once you've seen that certain thing you know that you need to do about your future, and you are now back to your present, look at the situation or the solutions. Let me put it that way. Look at the solution that you need to put in place to ensure that future comes to pass. You are the one in personal leadership. You are the leader. You are the follower. Right? You are the leader. You are the follower. You are the one leading yourself. You are the one following yourself. So it is essential for you to be able to lead yourself rightly. If not, you follow yourself to the bush. Don't forget. So all these things are important if you really want to make anything out of this. So most of the things I used to do for myself is just come back and come to this state and look at it that what are those things that I need to do? First, I know that when I leave school, I don't want to be looking for money up and down. I don't want to be poor. Let me put it that way. Don't want to be poor or don't want to be begging one or two persons for them to send money to me. I don't want to be calling mommy to send me the recharge card. I don't want to call Popsy to send me the recharge card, right? I don't want to be doing all those things or call uncle or something or all those things, right? I want to keep my integrity as much as possible, right? I want to keep my ego in quote, good ego, anyways, if there's anything like that, right? Just to keep in touch and ensure that yes, all these things are in place. Now, another thing I know is that I want to ensure that by the time I'm graduating, as for me, I'm using myself as an example. So then, in my 200 and 300 level, what I was thinking, okay, by the time I'll be graduating, I want to graduate with the first class result, right? And for me to graduate with the first class result, I must not take my education with just any hand. Whether you believe education is a scam or education is not a scam, that's not my own problem. My own problem is that I must come out with a good result. And the other thing is your own problem, right? What concerns me is that I must come out with a good result, and that's what my target is. So the next thing is for me not to be financially incapable. What do I need to do? I step back. Okay, I need to improve on my skills. Then improve more on my skills, right? So there are some periods that, especially when those break periods, I don't go home. Myself and my friends, we don't go home. We stay in school, develop ourselves. Why? Because that's the period outside academics that we can develop our skills. We know when it's academic session, we have to be in full into our academics. Another thing is, to me, is a goal for me to know the Lord, right? To know, based on my own religion, to know God, right? So that is another attribute that I know that at the end I'm ensuring. Another thing is I know that I don't want to be ignorant when it comes to marriage. I don't want to live like some person that will say that, yeah, everything, by the time we graduate, everything will sort out. The truth is, it doesn't sort out like that. Many people might not say it. There are a lot of people that are working on it. Don't be ignorant when it comes to something that is really concerned about your life. Don't just close your eyes and say, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Yeah, everything will be fine. Of course, we agree with you, right? But this thing we are teaching you here is that you have your role to play. You have your role to play, which is really important. And if you did not put that into action, it will affect you. It will affect you. We are not saying that. I'm not saying that because of that you should now go outside and start looking for one babe or one guy up and down. No, the planning is, you know that you cannot do with relationship at this time. Set it aside, leave that one aside. But you cannot now delete it from your mind and say, nothing about that. That's a lie, right? In the next 2 3 years, you know it's a lie, right? So what you just need to do at that time is that, okay, how do I ensure that I have the very best character or the very best attribute and value to contribute to another person, sorry, at that particular time? You begin to work on it now. See, all these things, all these little things you begin to do now, they are the things that accumulate and looks as if the person has prepared for life for over 50 years. And it's not as if the person has prepared for life for over years. It's just because the person is taking little details along the line about every single thing. So the person looks like this person is balanced. How? Details, little details about everything. For me now, any cloth I want to wear in the next 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, I've pressed those things like 2 weeks back. I have no issue on any clothes I want to wear. If I have anything that I need to do now, I can just go and pick the clothes. It's already pressed, they are clean, everything is there. How? Proactive. I know that anything can come up in next week. Anything can come on next week and they say, oh, hello, we have a presentation here, please let's go together. Or we have something here. How? Proactive, little things. All those little things come together and become much. Right? That's how in your academics you begin to have good results also. It's not magic. I don't spend hours reading, but you see, I ensure that it's consistent. Little things. Okay, I have to do this. I push it in. Consistent, right? And that way I know this is the target. And I'm trying as much as possible to ensure that I meet that target. I'm sure I try as much as possible to ensure that I meet that target, right? So that let me just, I don't know, I've been speaking for quite a long time. Let me get feedback from people and know that we are together. Hello, are we together?
Yes, sir, we
Ah.
are together. Yes, we are together.
Yes, sir. We are with you,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. We are with you, sir.
Oh, beautiful. I'm sorry, but I'm trying to be sure
Yeah.
that that we are together so that it won't be as if I'm the one speaking since my voice is even going already. Maybe I need something to water or something. All right, that's right there. All right, so what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is this: all these things that we are putting here, crisis and the like, they are part of life. Every one of us will face our own situation differently. We face our own situation differently. What I will face in my family might be different from what you face in your family. What I will face as individual might be different from what you face as individual. But our attitude to what we are facing really matter. First, is just that you need to know that everything you are facing now will not be forever. They will be for a period of time. Anything that you are facing now will not be forever. It's for a period of time. Now, when that period ends, won't you put your hand into another issue? You know that this phase you are, which is your academics, in the next 2 years or 3 years, it will end. Now, your transition from school to workspace, won't you put yourself into another issue? How not to put yourself into another issue is by ensuring that you go that future, then you come back, then begin to build yourself to that future. Right? Okay, let me put myself as an example. If you guys can see this, I don't know if you can see or something. It's, and so, all right, that's now this guy. I did not study fine and apply art in school or something. I did not, right? But what I'm looking into next at this particular period is something that deals with this is more of industrial design. They call it industrial design, right? So it's more of something that I need sketch. I need art, kind of fine art and all those principles, right? Now they taught us fine art in our part one, but then we'll remember that one anyways, right? Only few persons. So after then, what I'm just trying to put in here, I know that uh, hello,
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
can you all hear me?
Yes,
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 sir.
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 Oh,
Yes,
Yes, sir. We
sir.
can hear you.
Yes, sir.
oh, sorry about that. I guess maybe network or something. All right. So as I was saying, um, so the industrial design of a thing, I, I did not learn it on campus. I know nothing about it while on campus, right? Nobody. I was trying as much as possible to see maybe there will be one person or the other that knows about it that can teach me, but nobody. But now I need it because that's one thing I know that yes, I really want to do this. I really want to go into this. Now I've seen myself in that future that this is what I want to do. If I've seen portfolio of persons that are applying for these things to go into this area, and they are doing amazing work. People that are applying to what I want to apply to, they have gone far. They have done a lot of things that in my imagination I'm just looking like, how can I meet up with these guys? And these guys are not people from Nigeria. None of them, none of those guys, they are people from other countries. There are people in the European countries. There are people in Asia, and they are doing extremely fine. Even they are competing with themselves, and then look as if they are not doing too good. And in my mind, I'm looking like these guys are they are too far. But now I recognize the fact that okay, they are already there. No wahala. All of them. That is the future I'm looking into, right? Now, what do I need to do? I ensure that every single day I sketch. This is my pen. I went to get this. This is pencil is refillable or something. So I have the whole guide here, and I have my pen. So what I did is just get it, ensure that every single day I try to sketch. I'm not so good at it, but I know that if I put that practice in it every single day, that's what we call law of process. In the next 1 year, 1 year rather, any other person that sees me, they will be like, this person is super good. And they have forgotten that I wasn't like that some weeks or some months ago. Law of process will help you a lot. It will help you become who you never imagined that you could have become, even far beyond it, right? So, which is really important for you to always have foresight about your future. Have foresight about your future, then go back, then move towards it. So, and that's one thing I'm practicing with this again. I've made practice of that law while on campus. So many of it. When I was building my skills, my product design skills and all those things, I made many things, and my animation skills and all those things, right? Now, this is what you want to go into next. How do I mean? I know that they were taught, they went to that school, so they taught them every single day they were doing the practice of it. Oh cool, that's nice. They taught them. Now this is my own situation. How can I become that? You come back, then begin to put factors in place and ensure that you have that attribute at the end, right? Let me put a close to this so that I can hear feedback from everybody and then the like. So yeah, I think I need water. 1 minute. All right, all right. Are we together? All right, are we together?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
I'm sorry. All right,
Yes, sir.
I just feel like this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, thank you. Let me see if there's anything, anybody with any question. If I want to ask a question, let us put that in. You don't mind me. There's a presentation, PowerPoint presentation I did, but then I'm not
Okay, sir.
I'm not
I have a
always
point, sir. I
all right,
have a point, sir.
all right.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Let's
Hello.
respond though. As
Good evening.
someone is greeting you, you cannot even respond. It's
Good
not good
evening.
now.
Okay. My name is Obademi Grace.
Good
Oh,
Pure and applied biology student, Ladoke Akitola University of Technology, Lautech.
awesome, awesome.
So
Lovely.
yeah. So I want to make a contribution to what you have been saying since.
All right.
Yes, because some people already have these opportunities, but they do not have people to back them up.
Hello, hello. Am I the only one? Hello, I'm not sure. What's happening to my network? What's happening to my network? Hello, 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 hello. Uh, um, hello, uh, hello. Hello. Ah, I don't know if you all can hear me. What's up? Ah, man. All right. Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir. And I pure that stuff now. Can you hear yourself?
All right. Beautiful. So,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
can
Yes,
we?
sir.
All right. Mrs. Grace was. I think she was talking about something. Miss Grace. I don't know. I have to switch from my system to my phone. I don't know what happened. So I'm sorry about that. Please, I need to. You are talking about something, please.
Okay, let's say I'm in okay.
We can hear you. You said you are talking about something.
Saying I'm not interested. Friends are always most of the things like to spoil our charisma, like what our stuff. I don't know. Some people just like kilo draw. What do you draw? Like, you understand? But if you can see somebody like people that can back people up, is a lot. And I don't know, I think that I was trying to say something.
Sorry about that. I did not get it from the beginning. I don't know if you can go on. I think some people were trying to call me and then it affected the network on the line. So and I have to switch from my system to my phone to be able to connect. So yeah, sorry about that. So please can you go over it again so that I can get what you are saying? I'm sorry. Hello, Miss Grace Obademi. Yeah, I don't know. Can you try to go over it again? Uh, all right. Please, if you are hearing me, just say hello so that I can know that I'm not the only one talking to myself. If you can hear me, just say hello.
Hello, okay. Yeah, what I've been saying since the beginning is that when we started this meeting, that most of us have these ideas. He has been talking about he has been talking like how he has been doing his things in school, scheduling things, everything, like he would have money, how would undergraduate like us survive in school. Most of us most of us have ideas and most of us we have skills, most of us have talent, but nobody to help. That's just it. But okay, let's say I'm good at beat making now. I'm very like I love it. Not that I'm good. I've not started it, but I'm very good at beat making. how will I go about improving myself? I've never even eaten. Take this 10K onto these people making. So that's why some people have a lot on their head, but nothing to dispense them. And before you can dispense such thing like that, you must have position, you must have money. Position and money, and I can tell you that okay, what you're doing is fine. Okay, let us go about it by growing and all. So that's what I'm trying to say that most of us we are very talented and skilled, but everything good share.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying as much as possible to be sure that I get what you are trying to say, right? So that I will not move away. So what you are trying to say, if I'm right, just let me know so that before I answer, continue with that. You are trying to say that most people have what they desire in their heart that they want to do, but there is one no money to do it, and there is no position. Position you mean I did not understand anyways, but you mean there is no position like you said to is it position in aspect of learning it, or I don't get the position. So but what you mean is that nobody to help, nobody to give financial support about learning that thing. Is that what you are trying to say so that I can get you? Hmm? Hello, Mrs. Grace, is that it? Ah, I mean, I don't like network doing this thing. Others, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Um, wow, this is serious. Hello, can you hear me? No, 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 no.
I hear you.
Ah, I don't like network behaving this way. Sincerely. All right, Grace, so that we can understand much better. What I said is that it from your end? Is that what you mean? I guess she has. I don't know. Okay, Mr. Emmanuel, can you help us summarize what he said? Mr. Emmanuel Savi. Mr. Emmanuel Savi, can you help us summarize what she said so that I can get it much more clear before we push forward?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, so someone should just explain so that I get it much better. Okay, okay, okay. All right. So if that's the case, I have few things concerning that. Now, number one is the reason why we are preparing such a meeting like this or such a thing like this. One is first to give you the right attitude to all these things as a whole. One thing you must understand is nobody is responsible in quotes for helping you achieve your dream. Uh, I don't want to sound too harsh, but then it's just the truth, right? Nobody is responsible in quotes for helping you to achieve what you want to do or to learn what you want to learn or to support or all those things. First, you must understand it. It is by privilege that one person or the other help you. It is by privilege. We should not put it in a way that you are not even your parents in quote, you are not there is no entitlement attached to them that they must. It is a privilege that they are. right? Now, that doesn't mean that when you now want to do it to your children, you are not telling that it is a privilege that I'm helping you. No, that doesn't make sense, right? But first, you must understand from that perspective to help you. Why did I say to help you? Now, let's go back. Another thing we are trying to do is just that we along the way also you learn about how you can do your skill development, how you can learn about how to use internet for whatsoever you want to learn or whatsoever you want to do, right? Most of the thing that I learned wasn't some of them wasn't based on people teaching me. It was based on me trying to sort out some certain things and learn how I can get them, right? And along the way, you'll be taught how you can do it. Along the way, you'll be taught how you can do it. Along these few days, you'll be taught how you can do it, how you can sort information to help you online, or how you can begin to network with people, how you can begin to create value by interacting with people, right? And that way, that interaction with people will help you in your aspect of learning more. There are some things that you don't even need money to learn. You only need relationship. You only need to meet one or two person for you to learn it. You don't need relationship for. Sorry, you don't need money for. You only need relationship, and then you'll be taught how you can create relationship with persons of value and how you yourself you can provide value to another person, right? Because life is not about begging. You don't beg for things, you create value to get that another thing in return. You don't beg for things, you create value to get another thing in return that is valuable to you. You get so along the way you get to learn more about it and do it practically, right? So, but what I want you to just note is that nobody is responsible for taking responsibility of doing what you want to do for you. Nobody, nobody is responsible for doing what you want to do for you. Nobody is responsible for bringing that future you have been imagining in your head for you. Even your parents, they are not responsible. It is your responsibility to ensure that all those things come to pass, right? All right, so that's it. Any other person, or if I got that clearly. Miss Grace, are you with us? Mm, Now this internet is making it scary to me. Right? I don't even know if I'm talking, you are getting what I'm saying or not. I just know this guy is just going up and down as if. So hello. Oh, really? Uh, okay. Hello. Yeah, is it affected too? I mean, uh, oh, I'm tired of this network, really. Oh God. I mean, Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Ah, oh God.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
This internet is frustrating me.
Yes, sir.
Ah, I don't understand. I don't understand all these things again. All right. If you can hear me, which is cool. Are we still together?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
I don't know. The internet is just doing somehow. Anyways, I was thinking maybe Google Meet is affected also. So maybe all just from my end. I really pray nobody call me. Please don't call me, please. All right. So I was saying that did we get what I said about my response to Miss Grace?
No,
No, sir.
no,
No,
sir.
sir.
All right. Okay. So let me go back then. So I said yes, I understand where you are talking from, the perspective. So, but first, I would love you to know, or everybody to know, that nobody is responsible for your future. Nobody is responsible for making your dream come true except you. Even your parents, they are not responsible in quotes. Why I said they are not responsible is that yes, it is a privilege for you to have come through them, and it is a privilege they have done what they have done. Now you are matured, you know what is right from what is wrong, right? Don't lose connection, please. Ah, ah, not the perfect connection. This, this. Okay. Oh, oh. Oh, what can be the yeah, what? I can't even check. I can't check Google. What's happening? Hmm. Oh, this internet should not do this way. Really? Ah, God, 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 should not this way. This is way. No. No. Hmm. Ah. I'll put a pack on you. This is going. Some. Uh, this guys is. Uh, hello, hello.
Hello,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
Hello, sir.
Ah,
Yes, sir.
ah,
Hello, we can hear
ah. I don't know. I don't know. Well, well, this is one of the crises too. Internal crisis. All right. So let's say I.
Hello.
Let's say I, so that I know that we are together. I. Um. All right.
I can hear you.
Oh, beautiful. I don't mind me. It's. I don't know. I'll be trying to sort it out. I'll move from one network to another network to another network. And so, uh, so I was saying that we should know that no one is responsible for your future. No one is responsible for the things that we have to do about ourselves. That's essential. No one is responsible, right? Now, and another thing I made mention in the previous one is that along this period of our 7 days, along this period of our seven, along this period of our 7 days, right? We will talk about how you can use human interaction, human value to get not really to make use of human in quote, but how you can use your relationship with persons to get what you need, right? So we talk about it. We talk about you can use internet to learn whatsoever you want to learn, whatsoever you want to do, right? Majority of the things I learned, it wasn't from people. It was from either internet or my consistent practice and all those things, right? And then how you can make money in code through your skills enhancement and skills acquisition, right? And then you talk about some other stuff too along this period. So you will learn about more about all those things. But first, the right attitude is that nobody is responsible for creating the future you so desire for you. You are the one that is responsible to create that future you so much desire alongside God helping you, right? Alongside, don't forget, everything is God's grace. Everything is grace of God. We cannot remove that factor from our lives. Everything still boils back to God, right? But all I'm saying is that whatsoever you become of your life, He has given you the potential. You is just for you to move along with it, make use of all those things, and you get. So don't forget, no one is responsible for making the future you so much desire. Not your family, not your friends, not anybody, not your mentor, not anybody as a whole that is responsible. Whether you get a scholarship, you not get a scholarship, you don't care. What you do is just continue, move on, ensure that you are moving on. Don't call me, don't call me, don't call me. Why did I pick this call? Oh, wow. Hello. 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 Hi. Hello. Uh, this ought not to be like this. I will see what we can do to avoid this from that henceforth. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello, sir.
I
Yes,
can
sir.
hear you now, sir.
All right. I'm sorry. I think I will ensure that I still what I can
Can you hear
do to this thing to ensure it doesn't happen again. Especially people calling in. I think I might need to go and buy new safe tomorrow self and block everybody so that we can pause. All right. So do we get what I said in the previous one? Everybody? Yeah, right? Do we get what I said in the previous one? Do we all get that? Everybody? Hmm? Oh,
Yes, sir.
oh, beautiful, beautiful. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Don't let me talk again. All right. So,
Yes, sir.
all right, beautiful. So, any other thing before we call it a day? The network has really, really messed up a lot of things. But then, yeah, it's part of the crisis. We look for a way around it and the like. So, yeah. So, any other thing? Anybody else? Anything? Hmm? Anybody else? Nobody, right? All right, no problem. So, for our meeting tomorrow, we read about biography of three persons, um, so that we can. That's what we talk about tomorrow by 7:40. So first, we read about Gandhi, Gandhi, Gandhi. So we read about Gandhi, we read about Churchill. So we read about Gandhi, Churchill, and this other person. Let's remember. So um, Churchill, and so let's check this man. So all right, so let's check up about these three persons. So they are the ones that we will talk about tomorrow by 7:40, 7:40 when we meet. So I said Gandhi, Churchill, and Nick is or Pastor Nick. I think truly, truly, I do not like internet issue. Uh, um, I think I'm still looking at it that how will we survive in this our generation if we keep having internet issue? So Gandhi Church in and Pastor Nick, I guess. So what we do is read their biography, their biography mainly, their biographies, and yeah. So let's those are the three that we'll be talking about tomorrow. At least we have much knowledge about them. So let's make use of these three persons. So Gandhi, Churchill, and Nick. His name is Nick, or people call it Pastor Nick. Right. So we talk about the three persons tomorrow by God's grace. So hopefully, I hope the network would have readjusted. I mean, WhatsApp would have gotten their feedback, their roots back to our global use and every other thing. I only heard two, sir. No, three. Church Hill, Gandhi, Church Hill, and Pastor Nick or Nick. it's just him, Nick. You would have seen him. He's a man with he has he grew up with this. There's something I've forgotten the name. There's this disorder he grew up with. So then he lived with it. And he has a family now and the like. So that's why I said we should read about him too. But first two is just the first two is just Churchy Gandhi. So that's third person, Nick, 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 Nick. All right. So please, everybody, let's unmute ourselves. Let's try to unmute ourselves so that I can hear everyone. Just unmute yourself and say something, right? Unmute- I don't know. Just unmute yourself and say something.
Okay, sir.
That was perfect. All right. Any other
Thank you
person?
for the class, sir.
Oh, thank you so much. Let me just know that
It
you
was
are.
great.
Oh, let me just know that everybody is.
All right, sir.
Thank you for the session today, sir.
Oh, all right. Thank you so much. You just want me to know because I cannot imagine how this guy is. Pastor Ife, are you Mr. Ife?
Alabio.
Mr. Ife, I don't know. Are you in how will I put it? Are you in another time zone? I think I'm seeing like sun in where you are. Are you in another time zone? All right, all right, all right. Uh, all right, everyone. Let's just make it a day. I don't know. Let's just close for today, right? So everybody should stay safe and stay good, stay safe wherever you are. Please stay safe and yeah, please make use of your nose mask, right? When you need to make use of it. So yeah, all right, all right. Good night. See you guys tomorrow. Yeah, by grace of God.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the data, sir. Even though we
Yeah,
cannot use it for WhatsApp.
yeah. Right. Don't mind the WhatsApp thing. All right. Stay safe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Good night, sir.
All right. Good night. Wow. Enjoy your night. And close your eyes while sleeping.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Emmanuel, hope you are good.
Thanks for today's lecture, sir.
All right. You're welcome. Hope you are good. Mr. Favor, or is it Miss Favor? How you guys doing?
There's two favor here. There's two favor remaining here. So which one are you?
I think the other favor has left, so it means your own favor. So,
Yeah, yeah,
how you doing?
yeah. I'm good. Sir. I'm doing okay. I'm fine.
All right, it's great to know. Great to know. See you tomorrow.
All right, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, sir.